Um, Obviously you guys are, there's a lot of controversy, around the band because of the nature of what you guys do. I was recently reading about a tour you guys did in Russia, and, not a lot of bands get that opportunity. Can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, I didn't get all the details, but I know that you guys weren't able to completely finish it.
Yeah, wow, that was a while back now.
Yeah, 2014, right?
Yeah, I'm guessing that it was at least 6 years ago at this point, yeah. So, yeah, it was like a strange situation. We got this offer to do a bunch of dates there in Russia, and there was some certain, and I'm not exactly sure what his name is, but some religious guy, he didn't want us to come there, like he was making it public that he didn't want us to come to play any shows there, and we knew that it was going to be a problem, and we were even telling this guy that we wanted to book these shows for us there, hey, there's going to be a problem with this guy, and booking agent or promoter that wanted to bring us there just kept saying, oh, don't worry about him, it's not going to be a problem. And we did like the first 4 shows, I believe. I think we were supposed to do like 8 or 10 shows. I'm not sure exactly how many it was, but I'm pretty sure it was like the first 4 shows we did, and there was no problems at all. Everything was fine. And then I think around the 5th show, we started having problems. Like, we went to play this one show. I can't even remember the name of the town or the city, but somebody was saying that it was like this guy that didn't want us to come there, his hometown, or he lived near there or something. And we went to do sound check, and then everything was okay, but then we noticed after we did sound check that a couple of, it looked like a couple of police officers came in to the venue, and they were just snooping around, looking around, and we ended up going back to the hotel, and then before we got a ride back to the venue, our tour manager called the hotel and said, hey, don't even bother coming back to the venue because the show got shut down. The police that came in there, they ended up getting the power turned off in the venue, claiming that the venue didn't pay the electric bill or something. Like, it was just some shady stuff going on. And apparently one of the local, like the mayor of the town or something, had the show shut down. And then after that, every show after that, it turned into a problem. Like right before we were supposed to go on stage, then, promoter comes into the backstage and he's like, oh, well, you're not allowed to start playing, otherwise you're going to get arrested. So, and then there was this one show, I think it was maybe the 5th or 6th show. We got to play about half of the set, and then all of a sudden there was a bunch of soldiers, like right in the pit area, like in the middle of the floor, with guns and stuff, like military, total, like ready to get nasty. And they shut down that show. They brought dogs into the venue, like sniffing for drugs, and yeah, like we were getting hassled because this guy, this religious guy, whoever he was, he didn't like Cannibal Corpse, so he just kept making it hard for us to play. And it was horrible because especially the Moscow show was like, probably the biggest show out of all of them. And it was like a really big venue. And all of a sudden, 5 minutes before we're supposed to play, it's a packed crowd. Everybody's in there. And then here comes the promoter. He says, oh, well, they say that you're not allowed to play, otherwise you're going to get arrested. And then, you know, there's military police outside beating up fans because, you know, they're getting angry about us not being able to play. So it was almost like they were thinking about trying to start a riot, but then they were all getting arrested and beat up. And I remember that show, we ended up deciding to just hang out right in front of the stage and just sign everybody's stuff and take pictures with them. And it took like 4 hours to like do that with everybody just because there was so many people there. Like, it took longer than actually playing the show to do like a meet and greet with the whole crowd because there was just hundreds of fans there. So
that's really cool of you guys to do that, though.
Yeah, I mean, we had to do something because, I mean, if we can't play for them, we should at least try to hang out with them for a little bit, even if it's only like, you know, for 10 seconds or whatever, you know, sign something, take a picture, and then keep the line moving. So, yeah, it took a long time, but it was just something that we felt like we should do, at least for the fans. The overall experience was, it was not good for us, you know, but I mean, we knew that something fishy was going on before we even flew over there. Like, we knew this guy was gunning for us, and the promoter was just like pretty much guaranteeing that nothing bad was going to happen, and it did. And we ended up just, you know, pretty much saying like, wow, well, we should have saw this coming. And so we're banned from Russia as far as I know.
So have you guys had any similar experiences to that in the States or other countries in recent years?
No, it was never to that extent. I mean, there's been some issues in Germany where we can't play certain songs, and back in the 90s, there were a handful of shows where we weren't allowed to play when we were on tour with Morbid Angel. Like, it was only a few shows, but it was not to the level that this guy took it in Russia.